Hi, I'm Kevin Collins.
And I'm Joey Roberts. Coming up next on TrinTV SportsCenter, I'm going to tell you about a particular freshman running back that's creating a lot of buzz in the NESCAC.
I'll tell you why the 19th winningest coach in Division III volleyball history is a large part of the women's success this year.
And also why the women's field hockey team is going to make a big run in the NESCAC championships.
All that and more on a piping hot new episode of SportsCenter.
Let's go! Kevin, I have to say the major storyline of this whole season is the emergence of freshman running back Evan Bunker. Bunker came out of camp as the third or fourth running back on the depth chart. Now you get two unfortunate season-ending injuries to fellow running backs Ben Crick and Dante Eisheimer, and now he's the premier back of the league's best rushing offense. Now I got to see Bunker run against Tufts, and I like what I saw. He's a nice-sized back at 6 foot 200 pounds. He runs with a good pad level, and he hits the holes well. And he's not exactly a home run threat, Kev, but he always seems like he's gaining positive yardage, and the production backs it up. He carried the ball 32 times for 169 yards and a touchdown against Tufts, and he followed that up with a huge 35 carry, 225 yard performance with a touchdown against Bowdoin. So we've already established, Kev, that the Bantams have three legitimate freshman running backs, but there's one more. It's Dante Wellington. He's totaled over 125 yards over the past 2 weeks. And then you add that to a dual threat option in Headley Jennings at quarterback, and the Bantams are really looking at a ground game that should be the class of the NESCAC over the next couple of years.
So Joe, aside from the running game, is there any other focus you have on this weekend's Middlebury game?
Kevin, instinctively I'd like to say Trinity's ability to stop the NESCAC's top quarterback in Donald McKillop. However, all signs are leading me to Trinity's running game versus the Middlebury rush defense.
And why do you think that is?
Well, Kev, the reason why is that Trinity has made a concerted effort to rush the ball. Thus far, they have rushed the ball 256 times through 5 games, which is a conference high. You add into the equation the Middlebury defense that has allowed nearly 180 yards a game on the ground, and you have an equation that has Bunker running for over 30 times, for over 150 yards, and a touchdown for the third straight game. Now, before we end this football segment on the rushing attack, we really have to give credit to the offensive linemen and seniors Andrew Mortati, Matt Santora, who have worked with sophomores Mike Valenti, Gino Arnold, and Andrew Weiss to create the NESCAC's best rushing attack. Kev, going from a sport like football that gets so much hype and so much notoriety on campus, let's go to a sport that I think the student body is unaware of, and that's women's cross country.
And you're absolutely right, Joe. Women's cross country really flies under the radar here on Trinity's campus. Since their most recent 6th place finish out of 18 teams at the Connecticut College Invitational, not many people know that the women have finished in the top third of every single meet they've had this season. Now, Joe, we know that women's cross country is a team sport. However, there are 3 key runners that I'd really like to focus on. Freshman Bridget Tevnin has finished in the top 20 in 4 out of her 5 races, including 3 of those finishes in the top 10, 2 of them in the top 5, all highlighted by a 2nd place finish in the James Early Invitational. As stated before, Joe, women's cross country is a team sport. Co-captains Reagan Aylmer and Catlin Mock have also contributed greatly to the women's success. Aylmer has finished 10th in the James Early Invitational, and Mock ran a 4K in 16 minutes and 43 seconds at the Trinity Invitational, giving her a 5th place finish. Look for all 3 of these women, along with the entire team, to have strong results in the NESCAC Invitational at Hamilton on October 30th. Joe, continue on the path of successful women's sports. Talk to us about the women's field hockey team, who's a serious contender for the NESCAC title.
Well, Kev, the women's field hockey team has clearly demonstrated that they can play with any team in the nation, as they showed when they upset Tufts 2-1 in overtime on Reb and Shepherd Field. At the time, Tufts was the number 1 team in the nation. However, the shot differential really has to be a concerning factor for Trinity fans. Even in the win against Tufts, they were outshot 20-6. And in the loss at Bowdoin this weekend, they were outshot 32-6. It really puts a lot of stress on the defense and the goalkeeper when the opposing offense is consistently in your zone. So when it comes down to it, Kev, it's that they want to make it to the semifinals and beyond in this very tough NESCAC conference, they're going to have to control the ball offensively and create scoring opportunities by the shots they take.
It all makes perfect sense. Does an X factor come to mind?
As far as an X factor is concerned, I would have to go with senior co-captain Robin Williams. And Kev, it has little to do with her statistical performance, rather her leadership abilities. The Bantams have been on a roller coaster ride of emotions over the past 2 weekends. You beat the #1 team in the nation in Tufts one weekend, and you head up to Bone and get outshot 32-6 and lose 2-0 another weekend. This is a huge weekend, and that the outcome of Saturday's game will determine whether the Bantams will have home field advantage for Sunday's NESCAC opener. The Bantams are 7-1 at home, but have posted a less than stellar 1-4 record on the road. It will be up to Robin Williams to get the Bantams in the right mindset to play at a high level in this weekend's games.
Well, Joe, it's a very optimistic outlook for the women's field hockey team. What's your prediction for the final outcome of the season?
Kev, will keep it short and sweet. I believe that they will make it to the semifinals next weekend, and literally from there, anything can happen.
Very true. Well, best of luck to the field hockey team. That about wraps it up for the Trinity Sports. In the professional sports world, the Heat lose their first game of the season, the World Series is underway, and could Brett Favre's consecutive start streak actually be snapped due to 2 fractures in his ankle?
And don't forget to check out my interview coming up with AD Michael Renwick. For TSN, I'm Joey Roberts.
And I'm Kevin Collins. A happy Halloween to everybody. See ya!
Hi, I'm Joey Roberts reporting for TSN. I'm here with the new athletic director, Mike Renwick. Mike, we have 6 questions for you. Let's start with the first one. The one question you've heard during the interview process all along is why Trinity, why now?
It's a very simple answer for me. Why not? For me, it was probably the last 3 years I was really looking to take the next step in my career. I was a senior associate athletic director at Johns Hopkins, and I felt like I always had a goal in my career to be sitting in this chair, and it was time for me to start looking at institutions that fit my criteria, my philosophies, and why wouldn't you want to be at a school like Trinity College? Why wouldn't you want to be at a school competing in the top Division III athletic conference, but also the top academic conference? And to me, the student part of student athlete is paramount, and I want to work with students and student athletes that are gifted, motivated, and truly passionate about what they do. So Trinity was an absolute no-brainer for me. I'm truly excited to be here. It's a dream come true for me. I've said this before, when I was called by the Dean of Faculty and got the job offer, I almost fell off my chair in my office. I was so ecstatic, and I'm really just glad to be here, and it's been a whirlwind adventure for the last 6 months, but one that I've truly relished, and ready to be here and glad the sports are going.
And how has that transition process gone for you?
It's been great. I mean, Rick Hazelton, my predecessor, has been phenomenal. He and I started conversations literally a couple days after I accepted the position, and had about a weekly phone call together. So he was able to kind of go over the ins and outs of the department with me and really help me through that. Part of the transition that's been a little tough is my family piece. I'm here in Hartford by myself. My wife is still in Baltimore as we're trying to sell our home and transition up here completely. We all know about the economic times in the housing market, and it's a little tough out there. But other than that, it's been great. It's been great to get to know people on campus. It's fantastic to have the energy back on campus with all the students, and it's been a thrill to be here.
And can you give us some insight into what your personal goals are, and also what your goals are for Trinity Athletics as a whole?
Personal goals, I want to win. It's important for me to win. It's important for the school to win. But it's equally, if not more important, it's to win the right way. It's to win with character. It's to win with class. It's to make sure that we're bringing the right students to campus in the athletic area. But it's also, philosophically for me, creating an environment here at Ferris that is welcoming to the entire student body. While it serves as the hub for certainly the varsity athletic programs, it really serves as a hub and should serve as a hub for general fitness and recreation on campus. And in my background, I've served in many different areas within athletics and recreation, and that comes to my core philosophy is to I want to make sure that Ferris becomes the hub of fitness and healthy living on campus.